Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome, welcome. We have another interview today with the fantastic, fabulous Tracy Beavers. We're going to talk about boosting your visibility, email lists, content repurposing, and organic marketing. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to my friend Tracy. So, Tracy Beavers, CEO and founder of Tracy Beavers Coaching, is an award-winning business growth expert with over 20 years in marketing and sales. She's helped hundreds of entrepreneurs build confidence and grow their visibility through organic strategies. Recognized nationally by Vanity Fair, Lingerie for Women in Entrepreneurship, Tracy is also a public speaker, published author, and top coach with Kajabi. She created the online programs Business Visibility Made Easy, which she is in the middle of teaching right now. Be a confident entrepreneur, and host the podcast Create Online Business Success, which P.S. BT Dubs, hey there, hold on a minute. I listened to one podcast of hers and I was like, oh, that's amazing. I think I can make my next $15,000 with that. So without further ado, I would like to say hello to Tracy Beavers. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thanks for that intro. I'm looking around going, who's the lady? She's talking.
Who's that lady?
Who's that lady?
So tell me all about what we're going to talk about today, because and this is something like you guys don't understand. Like, this is something that when I listen to Tracy, it's like she doesn't just talk about this. She owns it. This is how she is. This is what she does. She leads by example, because I often see you doing exactly what you're saying and the strategies that you use. And when it comes to my authors, sometimes our biggest catch, and me too, is any kind of self-promotion, getting out there, talking to people, becoming visible, letting people even know that you wrote a book. And it can be really scary also. So I'm so glad that you're here with us to talk more about it. Yeah.
Me too. I'm sorry. I just had to plug my computer and I realized it was not charging. And I'm like, well, that's not going to be good for the interview.
That's right. I know. I'm like, let me check mine.
I suddenly just disappear.
I know.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
That happened many, many times to me. Yes.
You're so right. In that we can create awesome offers, write books, create digital products. And then it's taking that next step with it of actually letting it be visible and selling it, where a lot of people just have a problem. And so it's absolutely normal. Sales is something that stumps a lot of people. They feel like they have to be a different person in order to do it. And they don't. And that's the beauty of the work that I do, is that I help people find the most authentic ways to be massively visible online without having to be online 24/7. And then all of that visibility leading directly to their list growth. And with my program that you mentioned, the list growth strategies that I teach are very different. I don't teach paid ads, and I don't teach you to create yet another free lead magnet and put it out on social media. I teach you everything else that you need to be doing. And we get your list growing automatically every day in the background of your business, which is really cool, because then if you're an author, you can focus on writing your next book, right?
Yeah, which is what you really want to be doing anyway. And, because it's like potato chips, right? You don't write just one book. You get set up and ready for your next one. And then after that first one, you already have that list. And that's who you promote to. That's who you do your pre-sales with. That's who you talk to and get them excited about the next book that you're doing. Give them little like teasers and fun stuff like that. So do you think email marketing can be fun, Tracy Beavers?
Email list growth can be fun. Because, in my opinion, because what's fun to me is knowing that my marketing messaging is resonating with my audience and they want to be a part of my world. They want to be in my community. Whether or not they buy anything is up to them, but they've joined me in the party, so to speak. Nobody wants to throw a party and have nobody show up, right? And so that's kind of how I view my free Facebook group, my podcast, my email list. I've got people at the party and they want to be with me and I want to be with them. And the sales and the money will take care of itself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to just dive right on in. I am checking comments on different places. So, you know, if you have something coming up, guys, please ask questions. Please put them in the comments or just say hi to us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep. All right, Tracy, you emphasize the importance of an email list, right?
Yes.
Why is it such a powerful tool for authors, and what are some simple steps they can take to start building one before or after the book is published?
Great question. So let me talk for a second about why an email list is so critical to every business, including authors. Because as an author, unless you're writing books for hobby and you don't ever plan to sell them, as an author, you are a business owner, right? The sales of your books generate money for your book writing business, your authorship. And so as business owners, and this goes for any kind of business, it doesn't matter if you're online, if you're brick and mortar, if you're a service-based, product-based, franchise, network marketing, doesn't matter. Everybody has to have an email list of their ideal clients. It is one of the biggest assets as a business owner that you own. And that's the thing is on social media, we do not own or control Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, none of it. And so, and a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, actually, there was about a 36-hour period where Facebook and Instagram went completely dark. They just shut down.
I remember that.
Yeah. And thousands of people lost money that day. But the people with email lists made money that day.
Yep.
One of my mentors sent one email to her list. I think it was on a Monday that this happened, Monday into Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday into Wednesday afternoon. And she said they made $17,000 that day because they sent an email about one of her courses.
Now everybody's attention is now there's a focused attention there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if these social media platforms get really, really wonky, where they're not working in our favor, because we never know from one day to the next with the algorithm, or if they completely disappear altogether, we have got to have a way to keep our ideal clients and leads close to us in our party, in our community, in our world. And an email list does that. So when it comes to being an author, some of the fun ways you can use to grow your email list, that one of the easiest things to do is to create a QR code on the title page of every book, or a page where you know people are going to look, maybe on the title page and then also on the about the author page, but a simple QR code that leads to your email list in some way. And so when people are buying like your companion, your collaborative books that you do, they are looking for information. They are looking for a transformation. They're wanting to learn about something. And one of the coolest, easiest things you could do is create a worksheet or a checklist or a PDF that allows that person to dive deeper into what you're talking about in your book, a companion worksheet, if you will. You know, when I'm in book club and we pick out fiction books, now in the back of a lot of the fiction books, they'll have questions you can talk about in your book club. Well, I mean, you know, so think about how you could make your readers' experience with you deeper with a simple QR code that leads to a free thing that they opt in for. That's the key with the email list. We have to be careful because legally we cannot add anybody to an email list without their permission. Right. And so you want to create a landing page, a very simple landing page that says, hey, if you're loving the book about XYZ and you want to dive deeper, grab your companion guide here. They opt in, they give you their email address, they land on your list, and then you deliver the companion guide. And so you keep people caught up in your world, closer to you, getting to know you better. People love a behind the scenes. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Do you want to read the behind the scenes of how long this freaking book took me to write? You know, I mean, that would be something I would be interested in, especially if it's somebody I've been following for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the creative process. And the one question that all authors, you know, that I've heard interviews of is like, don't ask me how I got this idea or how I was inspired. It was, I was walking along one day and it just hit me in the head, or, whatever. And so you could just preemptively answer that question, why did I do this? But I really, really love, I mean, the things that draw people back to your solution is so key. And the way that I say it is, how do we continue the conversation?
Yes.
How do we continue the story?
Yeah.
How do we continue the work, the transformational work that you've been experiencing in this book? And how do we take you deeper? How do we help you transform more? And I think that a lot of times, some authors, and me included, we forget that there's a follow-up.
Yes.
And what I love about you, Tracy, is that there's always a follow-up.
Yeah.
There's always a follow-up. Whether it's a follow-up, of, hey, here's my thing, I want you to know about my thing, or it's a follow-up of, how you doing? I'm just checking in.
How's it going?
You are the absolute queen of this, like the check-in. Tracy, the check-in Beavers.
Yes. Well, it's true. First of all, I love people and I love making connections. So that makes it easy to do. But the one thing that made me, when I was in corporate, I had a very long, over 20-year award-winning sales career. And the reason why I was super successful was because I focused on the other person, making a connection with them and getting to know them as a human being. And I don't know one person in the world that doesn't like being checked in on, hey, how's it going? And it might lead to a sale. It might not. I'm not thinking about the sale. I'm thinking about making that connection with that other person and seeing how I can help them. And the sale takes care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really, really does. It's what I love the most about marketing, network marketing, because it's really just about getting in touch with people and connecting with people. And it's very powerful. So
for sure.
I love that. Let me ask you a few more questions here.
Sure.
By the way, I just put up Tracy's website. I have a whole list of the other ways that you can contact her, but this is just a quick and easy way. You have the easiest name to remember ever. Ever. www.tracybeavers.com. I love it. Schaefer. People are like, Kyra?
Right.
Schaefer.
Right.
AEEAFF? No.
Right. I know. I should be thankful that I never really was jazzed up about the name Tracy, especially the spelling, because it's the boy spelling and it's not fancy at all. I always wanted to be like a CEE or CIE or something like that. And I really should just be thankful that my mom didn't do that to me, because then I would be spelling it for people,
all the time.
All the time.
All right. This question is so good. Repurposing book content. So many authors, don't realize that value in repurposing their book's content. How can authors use pieces of their book to create engaging social media posts, lead magnets, or even paid offers to expand their reach? And I know that you're kind of, you've got your own flow and kind of your own thing that you do, which is a bit different, no Facebook paid ads, tell me a little bit more about that, about the repurposing.
Repurposing is where it's at. I'm telling you what, repurpose your content. Okay, so you got this awesome book. Let's say you've got 5 chapters. We'll just make it easy. So that is literally, in my mind, 5 weeks worth of stuff. Because you take chapter 1, week 1, and pull out some tidbits from chapter 1, a little paragraph blurb that would grab the attention. Maybe you, and then you post those. Maybe you throw that little tidbit into ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool and ask it to create a social media post for you based on that content from your book. You can make a social media post about the book itself. Hey, I've got this awesome book. It's all about XYZ. In it, you're going to be able to PDQ, and basically telling them what's in it for them to buy the book with a link to buy the book, because people can't buy what they can't see. And a lot of my clients and students, they'll create these great offers and then they'll go, Tracy, nobody's buying it. And I'm like, hold on. They're like, I think I need to create a different offer. I'm like, oh, no, hold on. How often are you posting about it on social media? Oh, I posted once a week ago. How often are you emailing your list about it? I haven't done that yet. Okay. How often are you going live and talking about it? Haven't done that yet either. And I'm like, this is why it's not selling. It's the same thing for your book. We
Yeah.
have to, especially in the online space, because it is so loud and crowded. When I was in corporate, in-person networking and sales, it was 8 to 12 touches before my prospective client would begin to listen to me to make a decision about whether or not they were going to buy what I was selling. In the online space, it is longer than that. So once you get to the point where you feel like you are a broken record, and if I have to talk about this book one more time, I might throw up in my mouth. That is exactly the time when your audience is beginning to see you and pay attention to you. And so we have to be consistent. So posting about it on social media, pulling tidbits out of the book, a testimonial of somebody that's read your book on a graphic with the tidbit from the book, or the book graphic with the testimonial in the copy. So social media, the possibilities there are endless. There, and here again, if you create that companion guide or that behind the scenes or something that's list builder, post that on social media. Would you like the companion workbook that goes to my book all about XYZ? Grab it here, and they opt in, and voila, they're on your list. You could go live and be like, hey, did you know I wrote this super cool book? Here's why you need it. And let me just share with you just a little bit of what's in chapter 1, so you can figure out that you really need this book. I mean, something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like the idea too with nonfiction books specifically is, if people want to sell more paperback books, and I don't mind, when we do publishing, we publish the ebook and the paperback book. But there is more royalties in paperback versus ebook, because you're doing wholesale to retail and that whole thing, but you can do pre-orders and signed copies and all kinds of really fun stuff. And I'd like to incentivize people to get the paperback copy, too, and I say, put in questions at the end of your chapter, have a blank space so they can write it in. So it almost becomes a little bit of a journal or kind of a transformation tool instead of just a book. So, so I love taking those pieces, and you can even take some of those questions, like you said, and say, hey, I've got a PDF, you can print it out, put it on as a workbook page in your journal. And these are just a couple of the questions that we ask, our readers. So excellent. I just want to give a shout out to Gail Hildebrand. Thank you for watching. Michelle, thank you for watching. There's people that are watching in all these different places, and I'm like, where is everyone?
I love that. Thanks for being here, friends.
Yeah.
So one thought I had when we were talking about what to do on social media was when you just mentioned pre-sale. So I don't know. I know enough about book writing and publishing to be dangerous, but I have heard that pre-sales are very important. And, you could incentivize some pre-sales by saying everybody that buys a copy of the book in pre-sale gets my companion guide to XYZ. Some cool giveaway thing that they're going to want, that incentivizes them to go ahead and do the pre-sale.
Yeah. And I like doing drawings and things like that. So, the first 20 people who do my pre-sale and get their book with my pre-sale, you could do a session, you could do a one-on-one, you could do a 15-20 minute discovery session or something. And just give that to them. And then that way that actually starts to fill your funnel for people who will want to use your service, which I think is so empowering, and wonderful and useful, and it continues the conversation, which is the whole point.
We did that with my podcast. When I launched my podcast this summer, it was part of my pre-launch strategy. I asked, I just posted out on social media and emailed and said, hey, if you go listen to my podcast, write me a review, send me a screenshot of it. You'll be entered into a drawing to win. We're giving away 3 30-minute one-to-one coaching sessions with me. And we got 30 to 35 reviews written and skyrocketed right on up into top ranked 5%, right? Like 2 weeks out of the gate. So it's pretty powerful to do a giveaway. A lot of people get excited about that, especially if you're a coach and you have a service to give. That would be super valuable, is to give away a little bit of your time.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out. We've got Susan Shuloff here or
Right.
of Susan. You got one of those names, baby. I get, you don't know, nobody knows how to pronounce my name. I don't know. And April Chambers. Mwah, my love you so much. Thank you for watching. All right. So, this has been packed already. Like, I
Yes.
mean, I'm so excited because what we do with these interviews too, guys, is we are going to create a blog post, link back everything back to Madame Beavers, and we're going to, do some links and do some fun stuff and make sure that you can assimilate this information as well, because different parts of the brain listening to things versus different parts of the brain reading things and then
Yep.
writing things and so on. So adult learning theory, right, Tracy?
Yes.
That's why people need so many touches.
Yeah.
Because we don't learn.
They really do. I mean, yeah, it's amazing to me. People will say to me, "Oh, you're a business coach," and I'm like, "Oh my stars!" Clearly I'm not talking about it.
I'm not talking about this enough.
I was. Oh my
I
God.
know. It's wild. It's wild. Like you said, there's so much noise,
Oh
that
yeah.
it's hard to kind of get above it um, and stand out. But I think the repetition and the connection and
Mhm.
the integrity, it's like, if you don't want to hear from me, that's okay.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm not going to,
We'll be friends.
push this down your throat. We just want to offer you an option, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So marketing can be costly, especially if you're a book writer and you got a little bit of that starving artist thing, so mysterious. But you don't have to be. Books
Yeah.
are made to make money, and that's okay. And you're allowed to make money. But marketing can be costly. So
Yeah.
you, though, have helped entrepreneurs grow organically. What are
Mhm.
your top 3 organic marketing strategies that authors can use to promote their books effectively?
That's a good question. Definitely posting about it on social media, like we talked about, taking a tidbit from the book, taking a testimonial that you've gotten from somebody that read it, posting about the book itself. That is free. Posting on social media is free.
Amazing,
Yeah,
right?
I have tried paid ads in the past. For my audience, they're very expensive and they did not convert. And so that's why I've come up with so many organic strategies for list growth and visibility and sales, because that wasn't a good thing. Use your book as a part of your blog, like you were just saying. You're going to take this interview and repurpose it into a blog. Use your book, create a podcast about your book. That could be a great companion thing.
Yeah.
5 little episodes that have somebody do a deeper dive, like a private podcast for buyers only. That's great marketing. And then you share the fact that you've got that private podcast, because that's going to create FOMO.
Oh, yeah.
One simple thing that I teach that's really important, and it sounds like it's not, but it really, really is I want people to check their social media profiles, whether they are on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And they can go look at my profiles if they want to. I'm Tracy Lane Beavers on Facebook. I think I'm the same name over on LinkedIn. I'm not sure. I'm at Tracy Beavers Coaching on Instagram. But in your social media profile, you want to very clearly say who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. And your book could very easily go on your cover photo as a list growth funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a very simple way to market, because if you're a coach and you've written a book and you are networking in Facebook groups, which I highly encourage, that's another great marketing visibility strategy, even in groups that don't allow promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in this Facebook group of your ideal clients and you're in there being of service. You're not selling anything. You're commenting on people's things. You're answering questions. You're helping people. You're cheering them on. Here's what happens. They're going to get curious about you. And I know this because it happens to me every single day. They're going to click on your Facebook personal profile. And then when they land there, they're going to slide right onto your email list, because they're going to see that cover photo that says, I've got this free guide to XYZ that goes along with my book. Grab it here. And they're going to very clearly see who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them, and all of the links to connect with you and find you. and you haven't had to do anything other than show up and be a human being and cheer other people on and support your ideal clients.
Yeah. Say that again a little slower. For us in the cheap seats, okay? Like
Yeah.
a little bit slower, like as far as I just heard you say that like the top 3 things that need to be on that profile photo, and that's that Facebook cover, right?
Yeah.
And then in the edit, like you would click it again and hit edit, and then you would put it in the description, right?
Exactly.
But on that cover, you can make it in Canva for free, guys,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't have to be like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are those 3 things they need to make sure that people would go, oh yeah, I want that?
So when I land on your Facebook personal profile, first of all, I want to see a photograph of you, not your dog, not your car, not your kids, you. That's really important. Because if I'm going to hire you or I'm going to ask you to collaborate with me, I've got to know who I'm talking to. Then underneath that personal profile photo, I think Facebook now calls it an intro. That's where you're going to put your I help statement. I help X do Y so they can Z. That's your elevator pitch. Mine is something like I help entrepreneurs gain visibility without paid ads and more lead magnets, something like that.
Yeah. So it's your value proposition. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you land there, I want you to go, oh, I need her, or, oh, I'm not sure I need her, but at least you know what I do.
Yeah.
Then in the work section, in the contact and basic information section, I want the full menu of you. Every place that Facebook gives you to fill in, like a job application, every spot needs to be filled in. Your website, your Facebook business page, a link to buy the book, your Pinterest, your TikTok, your YouTube, your podcast, your everything you've got. You want to have that in that section. And then the thing that's really important that makes it a list growth funnel is the cover photo. And this is where you want to showcase something that leads to your email list. For me, you're going to see me showcase my free Facebook group. And you'll see on my cover photo that in Canva, we just got a little button graphic. It's not an actual button. It's just a little graphic of a button. You could use a square or a rectangle. And you want to say, click here or click here for more info. Or I think mine says join here.
Click here. You got click here. I'm going to share my screen here. So
Cool.
This will make sense while we.
Yeah. So because you want people to click on the cover photo. A lot of people don't realize that you can click on a cover photo. And like you were saying, that's where that description box opens up to the right, because you can put a hyperlink on a cover photo, but it's not hot. It's just a graphic, right? But if you click on my cover photo, that description box is going to open up where I can see I've got the information about why you should be in my group, what's in it for you to join it, and the hyperlink to join the group. And so what you could do is you could say, if you've got this great book, let's say I wrote a book all about visibility and list growth, and you come to my cover photo and it says something like, grab my free guide to the top 3 ways to grow your visibility and list without paid ads. I don't know, I'm just spitballing. And then the link to that free lead magnet is in the description box. Well, how it translates into book sales would be I opt in for the free lead magnet. Obviously, I'm interested. Mm-hmm. You email me the lead magnet, and in the PS of that email, you say, "Hey, if you're loving this content, I've got this awesome book. Click here to check it out and purchase it." Mm-hmm. And then okay, let me back up. So you go to opt in. The thank you page that they see after they've opted in has an advertisement for your book with a box, click here to buy. Mm-hmm. The email they get in the PS about your book, click here to buy. The lead magnet itself. So it's the 3 tips to list growth and visibility. So the way we do our lead magnets is we have a really nice cover photo. Page 2 is also always a personal note from me with an invitation to my free group. So yours could be, hey, you want to check out my book? And then you give them the stuff you said you were going to give them in the lead magnet.
Yeah. Or if you want to do a Facebook group, I know you're a big proponent of Facebook groups, and so am I. I mean, they're watching you in the As You Write group right now. So, Yeah,
Facebook groups are powerful. That is one of the many strategies I teach. We help the students name the group, write the about section. The membership entry questions are where the rubber meets the road in terms of that group growing your list. And the way we help them craft the membership entry questions, we are not only GDPR compliant in terms of email and opt-ins, but also by the way we write them, they want to give us their email address when they come into the group. It's not you have to give me your email address. It's I'm offering them something that makes them go, ooh, I want that. And they'll give me their email address.
I think that's absolutely key. Guys, join her group, by the way. I got the best help. Like you have no idea. I was so sick of MailChimp, and maybe we'll talk just a moment about that too. We're right at a half an hour. Are you good to keep going?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We can talk about service providers. Yeah.
Yeah. I have here Flowdesk.
Yeah.
This is I've got a 50% off deal for you guys. So if you want to check that out, 50% off per month. It is unlimited contacts. Unlimited contacts. Like you guys have no idea how they kind of nickel and dime you on the contacts on all these other platforms, but Flowdesk doesn't do that. Todd's been using it because he's our newsletter guy, and and my husband, and the other person in my company. And he's like, I cannot believe how intuitive it is.
It is
that I think is really, really cool. But I put the link up there, guys. Check it out. It's also in the comments. But regardless, I went into Tracy's group. I said I don't like MailChimp, and then one of her staff, I believe, or one of the people that works with you, said, "Oh, I've got this. This you want this 50% off thing?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "I'll take a 50% off gift to give to my folks." So.
For sure. No, Flowdesk is great. I used it when I was with a network marketing company years ago. I used it because tech is not my love language. And if you haven't noticed, I'm a wordy girl. I'm not a techie girl. But Flowdesk is extremely intuitive and beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. The emails you can create in that are really pretty. Yeah, but there's other great email service providers too. Like MailerLite is a great one. ConvertKit, which is now called Kit. That's a really good one. I personally use and love Kajabi, but it's because I'm a course creator and I needed a place to park my courses for people to buy. And I did not want to have to cobble together different tech options. And it's an all-in-one, every website, email service provider, all that jazz is on Kajabi, but it's pricey. So if you're just needing an email service provider, Flowdesk is great. You can also create landing pages in Flowdesk, doing the things we're talking about with these opt-ins, a landing page to opt in for your free thing.
Yes. And that's the thing. My thing is like, how easy is it? You know, and mine needs to be cost effective and easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Cheap and easy.
Especially starting out, I don't want to pay $100 a month deal. When I'm just starting, and I've got 20 contacts on my email list. And by the way, is that cool? Like to just have a couple of people on the email list and just get started. That's fine, right?
I mean, we all start at zero. There was a day when I had 0 people on I had my mom and my sister, and I think I put my husband.
I love that. I had this lady down the street.
Yeah. Y'all have to be on my list just to make me feel better.
That's right.
It's part of my Facebook group, and it was just me. And then I made my husband be an admin, and to this day, I don't think he knows exactly why he's an admin. But we all start 0 lists, 0 sales, 0 people in our group, and we just go for it. And when somebody says to me, "Oh, I only have 20 people on my list," I'm like, I want you to imagine all 20 people standing in your living room. And then you tell me that that's not a lot of people.
That's right.
And it's 20 heartbeats.
Yeah.
It's 20 human beings that have said, I want to be near you, Kyra. I want to be in your role. And so you just have to keep going. You have to not get so hung up on the results. People get hung up on the results, and we can't control that. All we can control is our actions that will give us the results. And so if you keep going and you keep list building and you employ some of the strategies that I can teach you, you're going to have success. It's when you decide that it's not working and you get in your head about it and you don't list build and your consistency goes away and all that, that's when the wheels fall off the bus and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Which brings me into this next piece. Selling feels daunting, right? To a lot of authors. So what mindset shifts or practical tips do you recommend to help authors feel more confident and genuine in promoting their books?
Yeah, no, great question. And it doesn't matter if it's a book or a podcast or a course. It doesn't matter what it is. Selling, even if it's Girl Scout cookies, can feel daunting to people. Even though everybody loves Girl Scout cookies, that's kind of an easy sell. Maybe that's not a good example.
I don't know. I think they sell themselves, dude. I was outside of the Texas Roadhouse, and I was like, "Oh, these little munchkins,
Yeah,
they are gonna mess me up." I had one cocktail, and I'm like, $5 of cookies.
I know.
It's like this is going down. I just wanted a school trip or something.
So when it comes to sales, what we have to do is a little bit of what we've talked about already today. I want people to take the sale and that word out of their brain, out of the equation. Just stop thinking about it. I don't want you to think about the transaction. I don't want you to think about the money. What I want you to think about is you have written this amazing book that has the ability to transport and transform people. Whether it's a fiction book where you can transport them into another land so they can forget their problem for a little bit.
Girl, we need that.
Seriously. Or you have written, for example, if I wrote a book all about every nook and cranny of Facebook and how to maximize it for your visibility and list growth, I would have to say to myself, how dare I not share it? My book has the ability to allow other people to chase their dreams and grow their businesses and make money for their families. And this gift and talent that was given to me by God is my responsibility to use. And how dare I not?
Yeah.
And so when we go forward thinking that all you're doing is you're sharing your knowledge, you're sharing your expertise, and you're giving it to other human beings so that they can have better success. They can, whatever it is you teach, you can shortcut their learning curve with your book. You need to be doing that.
Yeah.
And the sales will happen. Don't think about the money. Don't think about the sale. Don't just talk about your book. Share your book. Share your knowledge. Share your expertise. People are going to want to buy it. Yeah. And when they do, don't feel weird about it because you're
I'm so weird. You just bought my book.
Right.
But it's so true, Tracy. I do. I felt that way. I'm like, oh wait, you do. You want to buy something that I said? Yeah. Oh my God.
I know. You want to sign up for my program? Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah. But we really just have to take the pressure off of ourselves with sales. Really.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because if your solution helps someone to change something fundamental in their life. Yes. You know, I had when I started my hypnotherapy clinic, I had a guy, because I was struggling with sales. I was just struggling. I don't know why. I knew what I had was fantastic. And I knew that I've helped a lot of people. And I just felt like but I just was having a hard time for my call to action and follow through and buy a package and, all this stuff. And it wasn't about them. They wanted it.
Yeah.
It was about me. It was me holding me back. And he said something so poignant to me. He said, what if what you do saves someone's life?
Exactly right.
And it keeps them safe, happy, loved. And then that translates throughout their life. But without you, it all falls apart.
Exactly right. It's the ripple effect of what we do. You're exactly right. Yeah. So just think of it. This book will transform somebody's life and make their life better, save a life. And then we think through, like for me, as a business coach, I help people build their businesses so they can make money for their families. That ripple effect is huge. It extends far beyond the person that I'm coaching, into their family, into their relationships, into their marriage potentially, into the way that they interact with their children because they're happier because they've got the income they need and they're not so stressed all the time. Yeah. So he's exactly right. We have to stop thinking about ourselves and making it about us because it's not about us.
Yeah, It's true. It's true. All right. I think I have just a couple more questions.
Sure.
For authors who want to use their book as a way to build their brand or business, what are
Uh-huh.
some key ways they can leverage the book to attract and engage the right audience?
Oh, that's a really good question. So it kind of comes back to marketing, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Obviously, you want to put published author in your bio and on your email signature, making sure people know that you've achieved that accomplishment.
Yeah, and if you work with As You Wish Publishing and you're in our collab books or solo books, you're a best-selling author and maybe even award-winning because we've been doing a lot of award stuff. So
Yeah.
just letting you know about that, guys.
Yeah, yeah. But really, it comes back to the marketing of it, promoting it, sharing
Yeah.
it with people, letting people know it exists. And then it will become part of your brand. It will become part of your identity. People will get to know you for being an author and a
Mhm.
thought leader.
Mm-hmm. I think that the brand piece, sometimes people, I know at least in my tribes, right, can be a little bit difficult because we're on this like crazy spiritual journey, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of us are, because a lot of the books that we write are some of them spiritually based, some of them are grief and loss based, some of them are memoirs, some of them are, and so, but I think a lot of us are very committed to not having an identity.
Mhm.
Like, I can change in a moment. But I'm like, that's part of an identity too, of all constantly changing and evolving. So it's kind of hard to nail down some brand stuff
Mhm.
sometimes, because of that evolution, which
Mhm.
I think is kind of key here too. But I think there's fundamental core things about who you are that if you pull those out, um, that can be a part of your brand.
Mhm.
Always growing, always changing, always evolving. Those are all good brand signals. But
Mhm.
then just how about your favorite colors?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like Tracy has got like a kind of a color scheme, I think, for her stuff. She's always front and center. You always see her image, all that kind of stuff. So that's a part of her brand. She is her brand. Whereas some people will just have the thing they do be the thing that's branded, but it's also branded by other people, right? So if I went on to Tracy's website and I just saw email marketing expert, but no Tracy, no heartbeat, right? No color scheme, no palette, no seeing myself in Tracy, right? Seeing myself in the journey. Like the thing that pinged for me was those ding dang Facebook ads. I hate Facebook ads. I can't figure it out. I've tried hours and hours. And when she said, you don't have to do that, I was like, in. So she spoke my language through her brand, so there's lots of ways I think to do that too, so
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
good. All right, let's talk about how people can continue their conversation with you. What do you got going on? What kind of offers do you got happening? I did throw up the entrepreneur Facebook group that people can join for free, right?
Right.
What else? How else can they continue?
Thank you so much for letting me share that. So my 8-week group coaching program is called Business Visibility Made Easy. We will reopen the doors in January, middle of January, with a February start. And so if everybody listening, if you are feeling invisible in the online space, if you don't know how to get out front and center where your ideal clients or readers can see you, hear you, hire you, buy your book, then get on the wait list. It's tracybeavers.com/BVME for Business Visibility Made Easy. And you'll find that information in my free group as well. And until then, a great way for us to work together is I do offer 45-minute one-to-one sessions at a bargain. They're only $167. And I did that on purpose. My normal one-to-one rate when we do elite coaching together is a lot higher than that. But I created these little quick win sessions so that people could have an opportunity to get 1 to 2 things dialed in and off their plate so they can get unstuck and start moving forward. And it also gives them a taste of what it's like to coach with me. Yeah. So I'd love to do that as well. And create online business success, as you mentioned, is my podcast. Lots of the same information you'll find in the show notes.
Oh my gosh. Like your podcast, Tracy has this thing, like she's very good when it comes to like, if she's offering this for free, what do I get when it's like one-on-one?
Yeah.
Because you offer so much in your podcast. It's phenomenal. It
Thank
really
you.
is. And it
It's
is
so fun.
clean, girl. It is clean. You are like that, 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 that. And I'm like, how did she do this?
Well, I'll tell you, my son gets the credit. He is my podcast manager. He's
Okay.
my sweet baby boy, 21, he's a junior in college. And I told him this summer, I said, hey, I want to start this podcast, but tech's not my jam. And I said, do you think you can learn Descript to edit the audio? He learned Descript in like 20 minutes. It took me 2 weeks to learn that stupid platform. And he's over there just, banging it out. And so he really gets all the credit. All I do is record, and then he goes in there and edits it and makes it sound great and stitches it all together and puts it
Oh
on
my
Buzzsprout.
God. I think we all need your son.
Plus, he's just a phenomenal human being. I mean, I just love that kid. He's such a good kid. So anyway, but yeah, that's been super fun. Not only did I finally get the podcast started, but my son works for me, and he says sometimes he'll go, man, my boss, she's just such a pain in the ass. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've met her. She's terrible. She's a tyrant. She's an absolute tyrant.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I this has like been so incredibly helpful. So thank you so much for joining me and joining our friends here. A lot of them are in the group, and I'm not seeing the comments on the other area, but I just want to say, thank you to everybody that's been watching.
Yeah.
And
Friends.
yeah,
And thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. I really don't take it lightly. It's a privilege to be asked to come share information, because I know your audience really trusts you to bring the best. And that just felt really good when you said, hey, let's do this. And I was like, okay.
yeah. And it's the thing that authors struggle with, I think, the most, is getting visible, getting out there. Yeah.
Everybody struggles with it, not just authors.
Yeah. And getting off of social media a little bit, content
Yeah.
repurposing, doing some posts, but getting people off of that social media and into your email list is really valuable. Yeah.
Because then you can love on them even better. You're right in the inbox, and you can tell them things about your book or character background if you're a fiction writer, or the backstory of how the idea came to you, and just, it's amazing. It's so much fun to be able to email my list and share things with them.
Yeah. And definitely your story, right? It's that story of how you got here, where you wanted to share this vision or this experience or whatever. And so that storytelling piece is so huge, and having it go through your email list is really, really powerful too. So yeah. All right. Well, hang with me in the green room, and I'm just going to say goodbye to our friends one last time. And thank you again, Tracy, so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Michelle and Susan and April and Gail, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I am thrilled to have gotten to share Tracy with you guys. Go out to tracybeavers.com. You're going to find a way to get in contact with her. Please, please, please do. Know that what your message is really important. It's really valuable. This marketing piece does not have to be scary. It can be completely filled with heart and soul and being. And do not let your message just get to a book and then stop there. You've got a lot farther to go, and it can be fun. So again, thank you, Tracy, for joining me. And thank you guys so much. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. And my thoughts and my heart is with you today. Take care.